Today is new sketchbook day, and I thought it would be appropriate to take you along with me as I start this new Stillman & Byrne Beta Series sketchbook. I put a sticker of my own art on the front, and these are the details for this sketchbook. I'm going to do a test page with you while I tell you about my experience making art for 600 days straight. It started in March of 2020 during lockdown, but really it started a little bit before that. I had made a lot of changes in my life with my husband in late 2019 to early 2020, and we both decided to take a step back from going quite so hard at work and consciously made time for other interests outside of work. I wanted a way to organize and achieve during that free time and not just kind of sit around and Netflix. And so I decided to get interested in bujos, or bullet journals. The bullet journal approach really appealed to me because in college, I had been extremely into art and making art, especially with charcoal and pastels, so much so that I actually minored in art in college. But then I got into my career. And once I started working, I went into it hard, full swing, and I really didn't make any time for any outside interests. My husband and I couldn't even hang out on the weekends without me having a pile of work with me. So making this decision to step back from that level of intensity of work and make room in my life for something artistic again was a huge deal. Now, bullet journaling may not sound like art to you, and it's not normally, and it doesn't have to be, but a lot of the bujo channels on YouTube that I was attracted to were art bujos, like Plant-Based Bride and Amanda Rach Lee. I absolutely loved their videos, and I was so inspired to make art again and just have fun in a planner that I was creating myself and decorating myself. That's really all bujoing was to me. And the more I got into the bujo videos, the more I was getting into art. And before I knew it, I was going from watching bujo videos on YouTube to watching straight up art videos on YouTube. It was actually very, very lucky for me that I found art YouTube when I did, because this was right when we were heading into lockdown for the first time in March 2020. And so going into the lockdown, having more time off of work than I had ever before in my life, it easily could have become a really unproductive time. It could have become a very destructive time. But instead, it became one of the most productive times of my entire life, as you can see with these sketchbooks that I'm flipping through. I decided to make art every single day. I thought, I have no excuse. I have time for the first time in decades to actually do something on my own time, and I want to do this. So I just made the decision. I was going to make something with art every single day, even if it was just a little doodle. There was no pressure. No one was ever going to see this. Surely I wasn't going to become an art YouTuber, little did I know. But I was just making stuff for myself and just started filling sketchbooks. I was filling sketchbooks at the rate of almost one a month, sometimes more than one a month. And in the course of 600 days, I made art every single day, with the exception of 1 or 2 days when I had horrible insomnia and just couldn't even hold my head up straight. Every single day I created something, and I filled 20 sketchbooks in a year and a half. A lot of what I was doing at that time was just copying. I would just take YouTube tutorials or YouTube paint along with me's, and whatever the YouTube artist was making that I was following that day, that's what I would make in my sketchbook. And it was a really slow process to start making original art, or at least things that weren't copies. And I found copying extremely helpful to develop my skills. That was my coursework. That was my postgraduate course in art, was watching Mira Byler and Makachino and Hello Alice and Arlie Bean and Super Ray Dizzle and Chloe Rose and Mr. Musette and Tio Yi Chi and Natasha Newton and Melanie Chadwick and Sarah Burns Studios and a lot of Sandy Hester and a lot of Lee Ellickson and Ian Fennelly and Zozzolini and Peter Draws. I watched so many people. In Liquid Color was a great channel. Ankapora was a huge inspiration to me. Visual Mind was amazing. And I just followed along with them. And by doing that, I learned how to watercolor. I learned how to use gouache. I learned how to use acrylic and vinyl paints, colored pencils, Posca pens, every kind of art material you could imagine. I would get into that art material, and then I would hunt down videos on YouTube for how to use that art material. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun because every time I created something, it was better than the last time I created something. I shouldn't say every time, but like most of the time. And definitely going through looking at my old sketchbooks, I can see that progression. I was so proud of some of the things that I made in April and May and June of 2020 that I look at now in December of 2021 when I'm making this video. And I cannot believe how proud I was of some of those things. But really the theme is it really works. That whole secret of how to get better at art is truly to do art all the time. Just do it constantly, doing it, and doing it. And you weirdly get better at it. And so now when I look at the things that I'm making recently, like for my YouTube channel, when I do draw alongs with me, I love every piece that I make for this channel more than the last piece. It's just amazing to me that you just keep increasing your skills and the things that you trust yourself with, the things that you trust you can do if you just keep doing it. And there were plenty of days that I made things that I didn't like, but weirdly, I don't remember those. I was very surprised to see those pages when I was going through my 20 sketchbooks and my series of 3 30-minute videos, going through like 5 to 7 sketchbooks per video to try to do the sketchbook tours for all those sketchbooks that I recently did. And I'll obviously link that playlist for you. But making ugly things or things that I didn't like or that weren't up to what I was expecting to make or wanted to make didn't slow me down and definitely didn't stick out in my mind, because in my mind, all I remember is feeling that pride when I would finish a piece and try to make something that I saw online and actually make something that looked good based on that and think, I can't believe I'm able to do that. I can't believe I'm able to create something on a page like this. It's so much fun. And even making bad art is fun. Even making ugly things gives you that relaxation, that joy of just creating. I don't know how else to say it. Even the ugly things give me a lot of joy even now looking at them, because I laugh my butt off. I think it's so funny when I look at stuff that I now think, oh God, I can't believe I made that. Like even right here, that was something I didn't like. That was something ugly, but I just left it in there and it cracks me up. And it was just coming back to art every single day, trying again and not being slowed down if I did something ugly or something I didn't like, that got me those days that I would make things I loved and I thought were so cute and so much fun, and I can't wait to go back and look at again. And over time, I don't know how or when, it was a very gradual process. I slowly went from copying to creating really pure creations of original art. And it was around that time where I was transitioning from just pure copies, constant copies of whatever I was seeing online, to my own stuff like this that I'm showing here, that I started to think to myself, well, I want a style. People like Lee Ellickson and Sandy Hester, you know their art, and Natasha Newton, you know their art when you see them. Ankapora, you know her art when you see it. They have very distinctive styles. And a lot of artists struggle to find their style. And this year was about that for me. Last year was about developing skills, copying until I got some skills together. This year was about developing my own style. And I cannot believe that it actually happened. There were so many days that I was thinking to myself, this is never gonna happen for me. I don't know how it happens. I keep watching videos, how to find your style, reading articles, how to find your style. And it really was just about just keep doing it. Just keep making art. And I know that can sound frustrating because people want a secret. They want a quick fix. And it is a quick fix in the sense that you don't have to spend hours every day making art. Some days I spend 30 seconds making art in my cheap sketchbook with a Crayola super tip marker, and I just do a blind contour, or I draw with my left hand while I'm looking at something, and the product doesn't look anything like what I'm looking at, and it's just fun, and it's just funny, and it relaxes me before bed. But weirdly, it is helping with my hand-eye coordination. It is helping with my ability to interpret what I'm looking at on a page, even silly things like that. So in a sense, there is a secret that if you do it every single day, even if you don't invest a ton of time in it, you just make it part of your routine, like you wouldn't just go about your day before you brushed your teeth in the morning. You don't finish your day before you do a little bit of art, and you will get better. You will eventually get better, and you may even eventually develop a style if you keep at it. It took me hundreds of days of doing this every single day. But it wasn't a chore, it was fun. Even a page like this, just a test page in my sketchbook, just starting a new sketchbook with a test page, was so much fun. I love my art materials. I love to discover what they can do. I look at a page like this and I'm thinking, ooh, I'd love to use that in a background. behind a really cute deer or something like that. It really inspires me. So I really encourage you, find what inspires you, keep doing art every single day. You will learn a lot, not just about art and the materials, but also about yourself. For me, I learned that art is definitely therapy. It relaxes me, it reduces any anxiety, it makes me so happy, especially when I'm making cute animals. That's why my channel is creating cute art and focuses on making cute animal art, or even cute baby art, or cute landscapes. It's all so much fun. So even though I already have a style of my own that I'm really loving, and I am creating original art every day now, if I'm ever tired or I have a bad insomnia night, I know I can always go back to copying and just filling a sketchbook page with something where I don't have to do the thinking. I can just put it in my sketchbook and look at it when I want to. And as long as I don't show it to anyone else and it's just for me, it's perfect and it's totally wonderful. Art to me now is as necessary a part of every day as eating, drinking, sleeping. And it is amazing that this is something that I've been able to discover. So I hope that sharing this with you gets you to just venture out and be brave and just make things and see how it turns out. Until next time, remember, create something cute.